Hi everybody, how you doing? This is another TheBudgetTechie video, and welcome back to TheBudgetTechie. And today, I'm going to show you this office rig I built. Maybe not an office rig, since it is actually overkill for an office rig. So it's got a 2TB SSD and a 2TB hard drive. The SSD is an NVMe and NVIDIA Quadro 5000, which does support multiple monitors. That's another reason why I put this in here, Ryzen 5 7600X, and this is built out of mostly brand new parts. So let's turn it on and see how fast it boots. So this obviously is just my test bench, since this monitor is absolute rubbish anyway. It only goes up to like 1440 by 900, which is a pretty crap resolution. And his keyboard and mouse isn't too nice either. Well, it doesn't matter, since these are just the peripherals of this PC. But here the PC's got this adjustable RGB, that sort of fancy stuff. But I mean, it just does come with it. Like the client doesn't really care about RGB or anything, but it just happened to come with it. So you've got 120mm AIO liquid cooler. And I'm gonna take off the side panel so you guys can see a little bit better. So here's the side panel. It's popped off now. And in here is the Quadro K5000 graphics card I was talking about. So the client wants this so it can support multiple monitors, since I believe the integrated graphics card in this CPU will not support dual monitors. So this is also a 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply, tough gaming. So the reason why I chose this power supply is because I didn't want any failures or anything, since I've had bad experiences with previous power supplies before, and this is the gateway to the past. A DVD drive. Ancient, right? So this DVD drive was harvested from like a 15-year-old Dell computer, but it still works nicely in here. And I tucked most of the cables to the back, but the cable management is pretty rubbish in the back. It doesn't look very nice, but I did make it look a little presentable in the front. But this is non-modular power supply, so I am not able to like get rid of all these extra cables I don't need. And these are the two white fans that came with the case. Case is the Fractal Design Focus G. I really recommend this case for like an office build or some sort of low-end build, like if you don't care about the tempered glass and stuff. It's only about 50 bucks. On eBay, there's also a smaller version of this, which is a Fractal Design Focus G Mini. But I was a little concerned about the airflow, so even though this is a micro ATX motherboard we have right here, there's still a little bit of room, since this is an ATX case. But there's a smaller version, which is the mini version. It's the mini micro ATX case. So this is the rest of it. Color is white and everything. So here's our hard drive right here. Seagate 2TB, and M.2 is somewhere in here in the motherboard. So here we can view the full specs. So Windows 10 is not activated on this one, since my client said they would activate this one, and they wanted Windows 10 on this, even though Windows 11 is recommended. So this one's also got 32 gigabytes of RAM, 5200 megahertz. Yep, I know it's crazy for an office PC, but they're gonna open a bunch of windows and have multiple displays, so they want this one for some reason. The CPU and everything. So this is a B650M DS3H micro ITX by Gigabyte, and this is the NVIDIA Quadro K5000 I was talking about, and this is our hard drive. This hard drive actually came out of a Mac which was barely used, so I put it in here too. It only has like a few hours, like probably about 10,000 hours, which is not as much. And there's also the Kingston NV2 SSD. This is NVMe interface. And here I'll pull up more info about the CPU and the GPU. So here we got the 7600X and K5000 Quadro. But the 7600X is a pretty good CPU for gaming, but I don't think it's gonna go well with this GPU anyway. But yeah, so this is the build. And here are the results for user benchmark. So I'm also going to be bringing in the user benchmark results. And here is it. So desktop 118% UFO. So this is UFO is like the top ranking in user benchmark. So this is a very good desktop, so that's what I made sure to test for my client. And yeah, so like the client can multitask with 32 gigabytes of RAM. That sure is plenty. They can open a bunch of Chrome tabs. And the Ryzen 5 7600X is a pretty powerful CPU. I would call it high-end, not mid-range, but I would say AMD is way better than Intel, since Intel's new concept of like those efficiency and performance cores, they don't seem to be good in my opinion, since they're just putting a bunch of cores in a CPU to make it more appealing, but half of them are weak. Half of those cores are weak, so that's not good. So AMD has every core powerful, not like Intel. So AMD is way better, so that's why I chose AMD for this client's build. And these two fans up here, they're not addressable RGB. It's because they're cheap and they wanna, you know, save money. And yeah, these fans also, these white ones are not addressable RGB, but these ones are addressable RGB. But I didn't want to make them a different color because I didn't want to, you know, like interfering with all the other colors, ruining the color palette. So I had it white and blue, just like this white and this blue fans up here. And this one is pretty much locked to white, this core. And yeah. So I've got a few softwares that they're gonna use, like I'm installing here. So most of the software just for testing. Norton Security is for some reason pre-installed with this motherboard. I don't know, but it does come with this motherboard, and it automatically started installing once I turned it on. And Gigabyte Control Center, a lot of pre-installed software comes with this. And I would say this is a very good computer, and yeah. So thank you for watching my custom build video. Please subscribe and like. Hit the bell for those notifications, and peace out.